Occurred, the 15th of November 2010, 18 hours 45 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Fishers, in, USA. Shape, light duration: 2 to 3 seconds. No of observers. 1 characteristics: lights on object. This was an extremely fast-moving, thumbnail-sized light, emitting no sound. First spotted a fast-moving, solid, not blinking, light about 60 degrees above east horizon, and about 60 degrees above north horizon, traveling due east to due west at an extremely high rate of speed. Several days ago I saw a shooting star, and thought this was another one. The light continued due west at a very high rate of speed, disappearing behind trees on the west horizon. Estimated time of sighting 2 to 3 seconds max. There was no sound heard during this event. We are on landing pattern for Indianapolis Airport, with traffic headed southwest over our house. We also have heavy air traffic at cruising altitude, heading in various directions. Shortly after this sighting, I timed a commercial flight at cruising altitude, on approximately the same sightlines, which took about 120 seconds. There were no flights landing at this time. The size of the light was about thumbnail size. If I had to guess the altitude, it would probably be under 15,000 feet. Any higher and this light would have to be huge. This light crossed the sky faster than anything I have ever seen.
Occurred, the 3rd of March 2011, 20 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Fishers, in, USA. Shape, sphere duration: 4 to 5 seconds. No of observers. 1 characteristics: lights on object, aura or haze around object. Left a trail. Extremely fast-moving bluish-green sphere over southeastern Hamilton County, Indiana. I was heading to subdivision at the southeast corner of 116th and Brook School in Fishers, in about 8:45 p.m. Witnessed a bluish-green sphere with a trail moving at an extremely high rate of speed, faster than an airplane or light. This lasted for 4 to 5 seconds. The sky was clear and this was not a spotlight, helicopter, plane or anything. It was moving too fast. Did anyone else see this? Please post.
Location: Fishers, in, USA. Shape, orb duration: seconds. No of observers. 1. I awoke earlier than usual this morning, April 7, 2011, around 5:02 or 5:03 a.m. I went into kitchen. Upon returning to the living room where my windows are just about floor to ceiling, with a half-moon type top window over the bottom long window. I just happened to look up and out the half-moon window, which has no blind or covering and which is about 8 feet or 9 feet high on the wall, and just then I spotted a very bright orb type thing out the window. Maybe a second or two later, as I was rushing to the window to look out the blinds which are below the half-moon window, keeping my eye on the bright orb in the sky, it started to fall quickly in the sky. By the time I reached the window, which was about 9 feet from where I had been standing, the bright light orb was completely gone, just vanished. I kept looking out the window to see if there would be any more movement or reappearance, but there was nothing else. It was very bright and large compared to the stars that were near it. It was eerie the way it just fell straight down from the sky. Because of the fact that the bottom part of my window had blinds, I was only able to watch the orb until it started to plummet. Then the bottom part of that window, because it had blinds over it, blocked me from viewing it any further. By the time I reached it and opened the blinds, it was nowhere in sight. This was my first ever sighting. I am 61 years of age.
Occurred, the 11th of September 2011, 0 hours 25 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Fishers, IN, USA. Shape, light duration: 5 minutes. No of observers. 6 characteristics: lights on object. 2 bright lights appear out of nowhere and make very odd movements in the sky directly above us. At 12:25 a.m. on September 11, 2011, a group of 6 adults, myself included, was sitting on the back deck of a house in Grey Eagle subdivision in Fishers, Indiana. I had been looking at the sky, noticing the broken cloud cover on this moonless evening. Suddenly, directly above us, 2 bright lights appeared in the clouds, sitting stationary directly overhead. At first, we thought that it was someone shining some very large spotlights into the sky. However, I soon realized that this could not be possible because 1, the source and angle would mean that the lights would have to emanate from our current seated position. 2, there was no light trail like you would normally see from a large industrial spotlight used to promote a business. 3, the more I looked, the more it was apparent that the light source was coming from above the clouds and shining through them, not up to them. Suddenly the two lights, which appeared to be about 50 yards apart, began to move erratically. They zigged and zagged, moved in circular and linear motions, and then one of the lights disappeared, only to reappear off in the distance, but remained about the same size. That light then disappeared and reappeared back over the top of us. There was no sound associated with these lights, no smell, no disruption to anything on the ground. This event lasted for about 5 minutes. Then, just as quickly as they appeared, they disappeared.
Occurred, the 2nd of December 2011, 16 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fishers, IN, USA. Shape, circle. Duration, 5 minute. Know of observers, 2 orange-colored objects. 2 orange-colored lights followed each other in a hook shape and then the light just slowly flickered away. Never seen anything like that before.
Occurred, the 23rd of October 2012, 8 hours 30 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fishers, in, USA. Shape, orb. Duration, 45 minutes. Know of observers. 3 characteristics: aura or haze around object, aircraft nearby, oval foggy orbs 2 to 4, going around in a circle above houses, following me down the street, in Fishers, in. Last night, October 23, 2012, my son and I walked out of the house to walk our dogs. My son took one of the dogs around the block and I took the older dog the other direction down the street. We always meet up at the end of the street. So as I was walking down the driveway, I noticed above my neighbor's house across the street 4 roundish lights going around in a large circle. The circle was about the size of the house. They were not real bright, almost resembled a foggy, cloudy light, but they were very noticeable. At first I thought someone had some strobe light, which I dismissed, because it was not how a strobe light would look. I will explain that in a minute. So I'm standing out in front of my house and a neighbor walks by with her dog. I asked her if she saw the same thing I was seeing and she said, yes. I then asked her what she thought the lights were from and she thought perhaps one of those big lights from a store. Then as we both looked at the lights weaving in and out as though they were chasing each other, we decided that couldn't be, since that would be obvious if it were one of those big lights. Let me make this clear. I'm 51, I've seen the store lights in the sky, I've seen strobe lights too. These circling lights were something I have never seen. They would go higher in the sky and then get lower. At one point they were high enough to cross the path of a small plane going by. It's hard to estimate the distance of objects in the sky, so they may have been some distance from the airplane. Here's the weirdest part. As I continued to walk my dog, the lights followed me. When I reached the last house, there were only 2 orb-type circles. Still they were going around like they were chasing each other. My son was walking from the field, and the first thing he said was, aliens. And I'm like, are you seeing them too? He tells me that he would not have noticed, but our dog stopped and looked at the lights, which made him freak, because she always runs the whole walk. My son took off towards our house, leaving me with the lights and my slow dog. I crossed the street and headed back home, and of course the lights followed me. I stopped several times just to study them. When I reached my house, they were right above. I took my dog into the house and grabbed my phone to videotape them. As I taped them, they were now high above in the middle of the street, and kept getting higher. I'm not sure if I was able to capture them on my camera, but I haven't checked. They finally disappeared. I have decided, without a doubt, they were either spirits in the form of orbs, or UFOs of some sort. I'm always going to believe something is man-made way before I conclude it is from a different source. But with this sighting, I see no other option, but to believe what I witnessed was from a supernatural origin, and they were studying me. I also feel something big is about to take place.
Occurred, the 18th of July 2013, 20 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fishers, in, USA. Shape, oval. Duration, 30 minutes. Know of observers. 2 characteristics: lights on object, weird, oval-shaped UFO. We witnessed this thing my girlfriend thought to be a huge bird. I thought it looked more like someone had let a balloon go, because it was floating in an unusual pattern. It then tilted and showed a single red flashing light on top of what looked to be an oval-shaped object. It floated slowly from west to east, and then got to a point in the southeastern sky and floated straight up.